Health concerns at one of the island's main accommodation provider, Matawai Resort, continue as officials try to determine the cause of what is alleged as gastroenteritis. More than 15 guests is alleged to have been affected but has not been confirmed by health officials. Guests at the famous establishment said it is a concern for them. Reports have also emerged that one of the guests at the accommodation arrived with a dreaded bug. This was also confirmed by the board representative for Matawai. Chairperson for Matawai Niue Limited, Graham Horsley, released a statement from the company this afternoon advising that the health situation was detected earlier in the week of a number of guests who may have contracted gastroenteritis with symptoms including vomiting, diarrhea and stomach pain. He also said that they are aware the medical situation is nationwide, and while the assumption has been made that the virus arrived on the flight, the health department is endeavouring to rule out all other possibilities. They're working closely with the hospital and medical authorities in an attempt to contain the spread of this contagious virus. BCN News contacted Niue Health, who could not comment on the situation at the resort. The company is also working closely with the New Zealand High Commission's office, who has offered their consular services to all New Zealand citizens requiring international contact or support. Telecom Niue has decided to move forward with the times, switching from their old manual operator switchboard to a new digital-based system. The switchover to the new system was done in December, but this week Telecom has officially removed the switchboard console that will now be relocated to Kaimisi. Telecom Niue says the Ericsson Magneto operated switchboard was installed back in the 50s and has been a vital part of Niue's telecommunication history. Similar consoles were also used by the hospital, Public Works and Niue Hotel back in the day. At one stage there were 3 within Telecoms when there were more people, but this was the only one remaining operational system. Director of Telecoms Tutuli Hacker says that the operator switchboard has been the lifeline of Niue's communications for many years, but has now been permanently switched off. In its place is a new system that is an Internet Protocol-based private automatic branch exchange that will no doubt improve services. Operations Manager Fufu Talangi says that the new switchboard will enable efficiency and a quicker response time with a number of consoles installed within the office that can be accessed by operations staff and information stored on computer. The old switchboard will now be stored at Kaimisi for display purposes, with the hope that it will become a welcome addition to the new museum if and when it is established. Telecom said that this is more than just equipment. It is all part and parcel of communications history on the island that is a reminder of how far we have come with modern technological improvements. Niue could benefit greatly from the Polynesia Leaders Group formation. They met today in Auckland. Honourable Toke Talangi, who departed late last week, is also expected to continue as one of the more vocal voices in the group. The close proximity of Polynesian islands is set to discuss cooperation between Polynesia with economic benefits. Looking at one of the examples, the fibre optic cable between Tonga and Samoa, that could also include Niue in its path. However, sources from Auckland said one of the main agenda proposed to discuss at the meeting will look at heritage issues rather than pragmatic focus. As reports from the Tonga camp, a communique that anticipated discussions to revive Polynesian pride and heritage in the New Zealand Maori iwis and the Office of the Hawaiian Affairs and Rapa Nui from Easter Island to engage their representatives at the meeting. The group, who discussed the inclusion of indigenous groupings, is also still one of the most sensitive issues of debates. Maori iwis, who are large in numbers and the most influential in financing, could control the overall formation, but leaders at previous dialogues are strong to argue that the construction of PLG is to benefit all of Polynesia, that include groupings rather than sovereign and independent states. Another issue that will be prioritized on the agenda is climate change, and it is expected leaders will continue to discuss these issues to also present at the Pacific Island Leaders Forum meeting in Majuro, Marshall Islands from the 3rd to the 6th of September. Youngsters from the Early Childhood Education Center in town were treated to playtime out in Hakupu yesterday. Play center managers say this visit has been long overdue, as the last time they had exchange like this was back in 2007. Tama Whineone Hakupu Play Center extended an invitation as an opportunity to share, exchange and familiarize children and staff with their program. Play Center manager Shanta Hekau says this is important for children to interact with each other in a learning environment to help prepare them for when they enter mainstream. The work done in the outer villages is valuable to the development of children.
The difference between the ECE and the play centers in the villages is that at ECE they have specifically trained people who are trained to teach the children, whereas, well, I can only speak for Tamawhineone Play Center, whereas for us, we're just a group of parents who are focusing on trying to get our kids to participate and then get them to see what it's like in a learning environment besides from the home. So this is us just bringing together our children and just seeing how they fare in a group environment, so that when they go into mainstream, it wouldn't be as scary or as bad as or as daunting as maybe they would find it if they weren't in a group like this. So it's just a sort of like an exchange for children to get to know and to see how they do in different learning environments. So this is what today is all about, and social networking, I suppose, for the teachers and the parents.
According to Mrs. Heko, as a not-for-profit organization, they rely on the charity of the community and donations. Tama Whineone Playgroup has been operating for about 40 years now, and the hope is that it will continue to support the foundation and education developments of upcoming generations.
Telecom has been in existence for about 4 decades now, so we've depended solely on the charity and the services of people within the village and groups within the village and parents. So we've had a few equipment donated this year by Cross Power Niue, and some of the toys they're from parents whose children have outgrown them. And mostly our room, we have to thank our parents for painting and maintaining it. But all these, we're a non-profit organization, so we depend solely on people's charity. But every Wednesday when we come to school, we have a gold coin donation. And those little donations that we do have, we either use it for equipment for children, or we have fun social outings for them. Well, hopefully the future is much brighter for us. We hope to continue to do this for many, many more generations to come. And hopefully that with technology we have right now and the resources that we have at the moment, we would be able to improve it. And people overseas and anywhere at the moment would be more more charitable, more willing to help us out and offer their services in terms of maintenance and labor for the room and donating of toys. And hopefully if maybe we could get some help to, with resources in terms of teaching, what to teach the children, what's best for them. So that'll be good for us.
The exchange has been deemed as a success, especially for the children who spend all their time enjoying their playtime. The Hakupu Play Center group is made up of enthusiastic parents and voluntary supporters who offer their time every Wednesday from 9 a.m. till midday. Senior students of Niue High School participated in the Wangahau Niue speech competition yesterday, reflecting pride in the use of their local vernacular. Spectators and judges were impressed by the level of ability students had to deliver a formal speech with a variety of topics to choose from that no doubt required some in-depth research. The competition was for year 10, 11 and 12, where there were more than 10 competitors in each category and a good representation for male students. Speech titles varied from a reflection on weddings back in the days, the desire to live in Niue, achievements, unconditional love of parents, and more. For year 10, judges had a difficult time trying to determine who had the best, with a tie for second and third placing going to Griselia Lofoli, Koipenina, and Tawili Pabihi Tokiafa Hau Amui Tupuhake. In year 11, Munu Hippa placed third, second placing Jekanai Okasene, and top place went to Ashley Pihingia. In the final category for year 12, there was a tie for second and third placing went to Atran Tatui and Autalavo Tupuliu, and first placing went to Ansi Mongavalu. Judging by the speeches delivered and ability of students to use Wangahau Niue, the future of oratory skills in the mother tongue looks bright. To end our news bulletin for tonight, last Saturday, the second game of the Niue Rugby 15-side series was played in Polynesia Rugby grounds between Alofi Mako and Tuapa. The game was officiated by referee Charles Siwane, who did a great job in controlling the game. The sidelines were controlled by Dalton Tangilangi and Hakimutu Lofoli. The supporters from Alofi was pretty vocal throughout the game. First half of the game belonged to Alofi Mako as they took up their first 15th game for the season. The second half was dominated by Tuapa, playing in the Alofi Mako's half for more than 50% of the time, until a penalty kick by Alofi Mako hit the crossbar and bounced back into the field of play to the waiting arms of an attacking Alofi Mako player. There was no defence from Tuapa as they were all watching the ball. The try between the post was converted. Another converted try by Alofi Mako close to full time from a mistake by Tuapa left Alofi Mako's score to beyond reach. The final score was 28 for Alofi Mako and 8 for Tuapa. This weekend game is between Alofi Mako and Hakupu. This will also be the final game of the tournament. That ends our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.